This is a great white shark, the largest, most voracious man-eater in the world. It roams all the 7 seas, feeding on seals and porpoises and anything else that suits its fancy, including human beings. Just last February, a great white shark only 7 feet long, a baby, attacked and killed an 11-year-old boy in a harbor in Australia. My name is Peter Benchley. I wrote a novel about a great white shark, a book called Jaws, and it's about to become a movie. Last August, I visited the movie set to watch the shooting and see how a story about a 20-foot killer could be translated to the screen. Martha's Vineyard, Massachusetts, an island off the eastern seaboard, beautiful, picturesque, and about to be disguised as the fictional town of Amity. There was something nicely ironic about making the film on Martha's Vineyard. I grew up on a neighboring island, Nantucket, where I first encountered sharks. We used to fish for swordfish, but they were rare, and we caught sharks instead. The crew had been here for months, an army of more than 100 with dozens of trailer trucks. Hollywood had come to Cape Cod, and contrary to all the legends, was leaving it as pristine as it had ever been.
Rare stories.
The producers of the movie are Richard Zanuck and David Brown. I wanted to convey the visceral fear people have of being eaten, and I asked David Brown if that same fear was what he wanted the movie to illustrate.
Oh, indeed. It's the shark's eye view of the human body, the fear of disfigurement, of being maimed, of being brought down to an utterly ignominious, horrifying death for no purpose except to serve a mindless appetite that appealed to us.
In the book and in the movie, we have a shark that is 22 to 25 feet long, and I know we were concerned at one point about exaggerating the possibility of this.
Well, the U.S. Bureau of Fisheries booklet describes the maximum length of the great white at 36 feet, and we did think it was Hollywood hyperbole when we started, but no longer.
We originally had him at 30 feet and then felt that that would be stretching credibility.
Dick was also stretching credibility to maybe 40 feet, but nature took care of our fear.
David, you and I have talked about this. We were both around during the shooting of a big beach panic scene, and we wondered, God, what would happen if something really did come in during a scene like this and begin to eat people?
Indeed, the Cape Cod radio only last night reported the spotting of a great white so close to the shore that it was observed by a lifeguard, which adds further credence to the notion that our beach panic might indeed have been invaded by a great white, in which case we would have had a double beach panic, or more horrifyingly, our actors would have thought that it was part of the movie. We would have had to use the old Pearl Harbor line, "This is no drill." This is a scene from that beach panic, as it will appear in the film.
No whistles! No whistles! Everybody, please, get out of the water. Everybody out of the water, please. Room for the folks behind you. Let's go. Right out. Take your time. Please, let's go. Up to the beach.
The movie was filmed entirely at sea. There were no tank shots, no miniature boats. A barge acted as mothership, and on windy days, of which there were dozens, it pitched and rolled. It was fascinating to see the complexity of a filming operation, the number of people, and the amount of machinery involved. The stars of the movie: Robert Shaw, who plays the fisherman Quint; Roy Scheider, the police chief; Richard Dreyfuss, the ichthyologist; and the director, Steven Spielberg.
And on the turn to the equipment, I'll hit the explosion. And when you hear Robert start the fire extinguishers, you go over, grab the equipment, and I'll cut. It's effective that way. It's effective the other way.
I asked Stephen what kind of film he was making.
Well, it's a shark film. It's a shark movie.
Is it a horror shark movie? Is it going to scare people? What will it do?
Well, it will, I think, initially scare people, and it will cause a great increase in I think, aquaphobia next summer in all the beach resort areas. But it's really a picture about sharks in general and one great white shark in particular.
The next day was a Sunday, and I talked to Robert Shaw at his beachfront home. I wrote the character of Quint as a man who begins with great contempt for sharks and is finally obsessed with them, driven to kill this particular one. Is that how you are going to play the character?
Well, that's how I play the first part of the character, yes. I am totally obsessed, but a kind of respect comes in because of the size, the enormity, the magnitude and the power of this particular white shark, and then I get even frightened. But it's true, I started out with contempt, and of course, Quint was in the Indianapolis disaster.
In the movie, Quint describes his experiences after the sinking of the Indianapolis. It was one of the worst disasters in history, and it has forever altered Quint's perception of sharks. To see friends eaten alive right next to him, well, here's how he remembers it.
You on the Indianapolis?
What happened? Japanese submarine slammed 2 torpedoes into our side, Chief. He was coming back from the island of Tinian to Leyte and just delivered the bomb, the Hiroshima bomb. 1,100 men went into the water. The vessel went down in 12 minutes. Didn't see the first shark for about half an hour. Tiger, 13-footer, you know that when you're in the water, Chief? You tell by looking from the dorsal to the tail. What we didn't know was our bomb mission had been so secret. No distress signal had been sent.